Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Quick update on the markets today. Let you guys know what's going on. Tell you a little bit about what I'm doing, what I'm thinking. Let's take a quick look at the markets. Bitcoin 2234, down 5% today. Broke another level of support. We'll look at the charts right now. Ethereum below 200, 197, Dash at 159. Litecoin down 6% to $42. Monero at 35. Ripple at 18 cents. Ethereum Classic $17. Pivx $1.64. Zcash $177. Factom $14.95. Factom's had quite the drop here. NEM just under 12 cents, and Lumen still under 2 cents there. So first things first, let's look at the Bitcoin chart here. So if you follow me on Twitter or if you're getting the newsletter, you've already seen this, but just to give you guys a quick update, I'm going dark chart today, guys. A little bit of emphasis on the red and the green here. So looking at this chart, right, I pointed out a couple of levels of support that I was watching. This first level being right around this 2300 area here that's kind of been holding, and we had the big drop a couple of days ago, and on a closing basis, this is on the daily chart, we held this $2,300 area. We had a pretty nice rally, but it was short-lived, and then today we broke below that. And so my thoughts here are, hey, we're still in this descending triangle formation that's been forming, and that's a bearish pattern. That's just there's just no way around it. It's a bearish pattern. Those usually resolve themselves to the downside. The downtrend's still intact, and that's exactly what we're seeing. We're seeing it resolve itself to the downside here. So here's the bearish formation here, and I mean, downtrend is still intact, right? Simple as that. The trend is your friend, and if you try to swim against the tide here, it's not easy, and Bitcoin is still the leader. So when Bitcoin's dropping at these levels, then everything else is going to sell off in tandem. So just some thoughts there. Where could we go from here? I mean, there was a little bit of a support here, but volume wasn't too big. I think we're going to go down further personally. I'm not holding a whole lot of Bitcoin besides just some short trading and stuff, long-term positions. I've actually increased my cash / fiat / US dollar tether / however you want to neutralize it. There's a couple of ways, but I've increased that. So if you guys remember, I mentioned I was at 25% a couple of weeks back, kind of lightening up. Sold most of my Ethereum back then. Then with the rally dropping further, went to 50% last week, and basically went up a little bit higher. I'm about 60% cash right now, and I am waiting because I believe there's going to be some great buying opportunities, and so I want to be ready to get on some of these. Besides some small trading, I'm doing a little bit of trading on some of the bounces, but nothing long term for sure. So where do I think we're going to go from here? The next level down could be around this $2,100 area. That's certainly in the realm of possibility. That's not even that far down at this point. And if that cracks, personally, I think we're going to see $1,800, $1,900 if that drops. $1,800, $1,900 is a long ways down from the top. That's going to be a fabulous buying opportunity if you're a long-term holder in Bitcoin. That's a good place to add some more there. And so it could be one of these quick spike lows that we see and then a big rally pop. So you might not get a whole lot of time to buy in at those levels. So just look out for that. But I mean, that's really going to be solid support. This $1,800, $1,900 zone is super solid support. If it breaks below that, which I really doubt, but if it does, I mean, that'd be a really bad sign for Bitcoin. You could go into a longer term bear market at that point. But for now, guys, take it one day at a time. Somebody was posting me, hey, Ethereum's going to drop to 160 and then we're going to go down to 95 and then to $20. And it's like, okay, I'm not saying it's not, but let's take it one day at a time, right? So let's just don't overreact. When you start seeing the news being that bearish, that's actually a positive sign, right? Everyone starts getting bearish and all of a sudden it's like, okay, we've had a good sell-off. People are starting to get worried. It's good. It takes a lot of froth out of the market. Ultimately, guys, there will be a bottom. And these are not going away. And when that bottom shows up, there's going to be good formations put in, and there's going to be some fabulous buying opportunities. And we're going to start to rally again and just got to be patient. It's hard, but we just got to be patient and wait it out. Let's look at a couple of others here. Let's go to Litecoin. You guys know I've been holding Litecoin. Look at this Litecoin versus Bitcoin chart. So yes, Litecoin's coming down just with everything else, but when you compare it to Bitcoin, I mean, this just is a nice chart. I mean, just had that big rally, pulled back a little bit, hit this 10-day moving average, popped again, big volume on the rise, and pretty much smaller volume on this downside. So Litecoin versus Bitcoin, still very nice, very strong. You see these big tails coming down. So far, a lot of support coming in on the Litecoin versus Bitcoin chart. Still hasn't broken above this little descending pattern it's in. And so that's going to be real key to watch because it's getting real tight here. The moving average is going up. Personally, I think if Bitcoin has another sell-off, you're going to see Litecoin break below this little pattern, possibly hit this moving average right here. But keep an eye on it. I mean, if it breaks above this descending pattern, that's going to be a very bullish sign, especially if volume shows up there. So Litecoin's still looking pretty good. I really like Litecoin long term, as you guys know, and if we do get another big pop to the downside or another big drop on Bitcoin, this is one I'm going to be looking at. So this is definitely on my short list, and if it looks very attractive here at these lower levels, I'm going to be adding more Litecoin. Let's look at Litecoin versus the dollar here. So again, this is the chart, the pattern I was showing you guys a couple days ago. This down flag that it's been forming. It broke below that low here, so not a good sign. So we're kind of now forming this downward channel, if you will. It's kind of a little bit of a channel that it's in here. So that's going to be a pattern to watch. I was looking at this upper support level. Today it looked like we breached that, so that's not really valid anymore. But we're right at these moving averages. They spiked it down again today, and it popped right back up. But so far, this downtrend is still intact. So that's what I'm watching. You want to see it get above that, and if volume shows up, that may be a good entry there at that point. What else? Let's look at Ethereum real quick. I'm not going to go through all the charts today, just looking at a few here. Wanted to give you guys a quick update on the markets. Ethereum. So let me take off this so we can see this a little clearer. So, I mean, just look at the moving averages, definitely rolling over. We're right at the support level that we were from a couple of days ago, so we still haven't broken that. Bitcoin did. Bitcoin went below the levels from a couple of days ago. Ethereum hasn't. I said before, this is probably a good low for Ethereum in this area. If you see a huge sell-off in Bitcoin, you could see a big spike low, but so far it's holding. This is the line to watch, though. This 180, 190 area. If we start to close below that on a daily basis, meaning, it's not just a couple of hours spike, but we start to see another bar down, bad news for Ethereum. You can see the next level down would be that level I've been talking about, right? That 150, 160 area. At this point, how far down is that? So that is another, let's call it 20% or so down. So that'd be a pretty big move down from here even. Not saying that's going to happen, but we're getting really close to that support level. You don't want to see that move taken out, otherwise you will see another leg down in Ethereum. As far as the upside goes, we still haven't broken that downtrend. So as far as making longer term buys here, I'm not personally. I'm just going to wait. I'm just going to be patient and wait to see what happens here. We're not going to have to wait too much longer. It looks like a couple days out, you'll know if this little downtrend is going to break, or the support level is going to break, or we're going to pop above it. So at this point, just wait it out. Ethereum Classic's looking pretty good. So on a daily basis, we had that big spike a few days back, and then just kind of a normal pullback here. Volumes coming down on this little bit of a pullback, so not too bad there. This is one that's on my short list. When the markets start to reverse and look like they're heading up, I'm going to be looking at Ethereum Classic. It's looking really strong here. What else? A couple more real quick before we wrap it up. Again, I'm not going to cover everything. Just wanted to give you guys an update. I mean, the markets, at the end of this day, the trend is still down. We haven't broken that. I think going into August, there's just going to be a lot of volatility, and just due to the uncertainty, and especially next week and the week after that, people are going to try to get ahead of the crowd, going to start pulling money out of exchanges, just to kind of buckle down and get a little defensive. And so you could see some extreme selling and buying. You might see a big rally and then a big pullback. That's not going to be unusual. That's going to be expected in this time of uncertainty. And no doubt, big drops and rallies in Bitcoin are going to drive the altcoin market. So I'm going to just keep my position where I'm at now. Not invested long from a big portfolio percentage. So I'm just going to remain this way aside from some small trading and watch the markets. One thing that was looking good, let me see what else is on here real quick. Check this one out. So I mentioned this one on the video I did with the CryptoBit brothers a few days ago, and this is FirstBlood. It's one of the gaming coins. I'm keeping an eye on this one just because I think that market has some huge potential when this market turns around here. And we had this rally back in mid-June, big pop. Since been coming down, but you're just seeing these big spikes, and last couple of days it's actually been pretty strong. This big green volume bar though, that's a lot of selling right there. Even though the bar is green, it was a big reversal bar, so kind of coincided with this resistance here. Let me change the color of this for you guys, so you can see those kind of resistance zone right now. So I would expect a little bit of a pullback, but in light of everything else right now kind of selling off, it's been holding up pretty good. So it's showing a good sign of strength, a little bit of accumulation going on here at the lows. So this is one that's on my short list, FirstBlood. So check that out. Do the research into the project, understand what the platform is, of course, but this one might rally on the way up here when the markets turn around. The other one I talked about here recently, Antshares. Let's see what that one's looking like here. Antshares. So Antshares selling off today too. Still in a little bit of a downtrend, so that has not been broken. One thing I'm looking at though, and again, it's just going to depend on the market action here, but I'm looking, I'm always on the hunt, looking for bottoming action, bottoming patterns, because when the market reverses, you want to have a list ready to go. Antshares is on my short list, and one potential pattern that may be forming here, let me show you guys. So if you're familiar with the head and shoulders pattern, that's a topping formation. The inverse of that is an inverted head and shoulders pattern, and it's actually a very bullish bottoming formation. And you're kind of seeing that here a little bit, right? So you're seeing that left shoulder, then you're seeing the bigger drop. That forms the inverted head. And right now, we might be forming a right shoulder. And so what you're going to want to see is you're going to want to see the price rally up and then break above what they call the neckline here, and that's a descending neckline, but that would put you right around, let's say 276, so 0.0027. So let's see if that can happen here. If the price starts to rally from here, that may be a potential formation that's in the works. Now, what would null that would be just to see the price continue to drop and come back to these levels, then that would be an invalid formation. Normally you don't want the shoulder to be at the same level as the head. So, but I'm always looking out for stuff like that, saying, hey, that could be a potential pattern forming. Now, I'm not saying buy it here. There's no signals. Wait for it to break above this neckline, and then that would confirm that. So just one thing I'm watching here at this point. Everything's kind of on the way down right now, so be patient. I know it's not easy. You're going to see some big rallies potentially. But maybe for trades, that's about it. Try not to get too sucked in. Don't go 100% in, then 100% out. Just try to wait it out, guys. The bottoms don't form in a day. They take time to work themselves out. You'll see some good patterns put in. And that's what I'm doing. That's how I'm playing this. I'm just trying to sit on my hands as much as I can, and I'm looking out for some good opportunities. So just to recap, guys, on my short list, obviously Bitcoin, if we see a big spike low, we're going to want to pick some of that up. Ethereum, if it holds these support levels and pops above that downtrend line, that'd be a good one to look at. Ethereum Classic's looking strong when the market reverses. Litecoin still at the top of my list. Dash potentially is looking good. Some of the smaller names, Antshares, FirstBlood, and I did a video the other day looking at a bunch of potential extreme lows and bottoms, and so I'd be looking at some of those too. Stratus, NEM. What else was on that list? Golem, Siacoin. So those are just some of the ones that I'm watching for when the market bottoms. That's going to do it for today, guys. Till next time, take care.